And now the day leads into nightfall. In your head, they're still fighting. If you want to.
Ladies and gentlemen, Francesca Tarantino.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Okay? Okay, perfect.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. It's Friday, finally, isn't it?
I know. I love Fridays. I'm so glad it's finally Friday. Time for the weekend.
And do you have any plans for the weekend?
Not really. Just practicing for shows and stuff like that.
Okay, sounds pretty cool, pretty amazing. Thank you so much for the space and the opportunity.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
In which part of your life did you decide to go for music?
Well, I've pretty much loved music my whole life. So when I was very, very little, my parents, they always listened to classic rock music. And it's what I grew up listening to. And actually, a little funny story. I was obsessed with Scooby-Doo when I was a kid, this cartoon.
Wow.
And so my mom got me this movie, and it was Scooby-Doo meets Kiss. And Kiss was like this band. And so I didn't know that at the time. And so I watched the movie, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool, I love this band. And then that's kind of really how I became obsessed with music, because I love the band so much, and I just listened to them nonstop. And my dad, he actually collects guitars, so one day he decided to get me my own guitar when I was like, maybe 6 or something, and I just put my hands on it, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. And I just became obsessed with the instrument, and he taught me like really short, easy riffs to like classic rock songs, but they were really simple. And then when I moved to Florida, because I used to live in Pennsylvania, around maybe 5 years ago, I started taking singing lessons, and I got my start in musical theater. And after maybe like 3 years of doing musical theater, I was like, okay, that was really fun, but it's not really my thing anymore. I want to get to like classic rock music, like to what I love. And so that's when I was like, okay, I want to be an artist. And so that's when I started kind of going into that realm, and I took guitar lessons, first rhythm guitar lessons, and then I started taking lead guitar lessons, and that's kind of the story of my music.
Wow, that's really cool. Excellent, Francesca. We are already loving your story, your background. And related to your songs, to the songs you have wrote, what's the inspiration? What's the usual inspiration for your songs so far?
Well, when I listen to music, I always like songs, and other people have told me this too, that they can really like relate to lyrics-wise. I think it's just so much cooler to connect with the song. So when I write, I always try to write about like in real life situations that maybe people have been in, things like that. So my first song, My Runaway, it's about being somewhere you know you shouldn't be, and you're trying to escape, but you're worried about what others are going to think of you. And I just thought about it, and I was like, you know what? There are probably so many people who have been in a situation that like they got to get out of, or they're just like really worried what other people think of them. So I was like, okay, people are really going to relate to this. And then when people started commenting like, oh, I can really relate to these lyrics, and it's such a cool song, I was like, okay, this is what people like, this is what I got to keep doing. And so then I just kept writing songs that other people can relate to, and I try to keep that in mind the most.
Okay, excellent, awesome. And which song of yours is your favorite so far?
That is such a hard question. I guess I'm gonna have to say Tragedy.
Okay.
I think because it really came from the heart. I guess I really only have okay, 3 completely finished ones, which 2 are released, and then 1 is coming next week. And then I have like a bunch written on the side that aren't completely finished, but I do really like those. But I would have to say Tragedy is my favorite, because I think it just came from the heart the most, and I think it's such a catchy song to me for some reason.
Yes, it is so catchy, it is so also amazing the way in which you perform. And related to your new music, I mean, just looking at your Instagram profile, isn't it? Truth Cannot Hide.
Yes, Truth Gonna Hide is coming next week on Wednesday. Yeah, really excited.
Wow. What was the inspo for that song?
That song, it's basically about having a best friend. It's about the struggle of having a best friend, and you love them so much, but your best friend does something that you don't really agree with, and so you love your best friend, and you have to like support them in a way because they're your best friend, obviously. But now you know what they've done. Every time you see them, you just look at them in a different light, and you're like, you're not the person I thought you were. So like in the song, it says lies every time I looked in your eyes. Because when you look in that person's eyes, you're like, wow, you lied to me. You did all this stuff that, like, I can't even believe this is you anymore. So the song tells a really specific story about the best friend cheated on her boyfriend. That's the scenario that happened. Yeah, and it's really about that pretty much. It's a really cool song. It has a really cool guitar solo, too. I cannot wait for you guys to all hear it.
Yes, actually, fans' response are awesome, isn't it? They're already expecting your new sound, your new music. Is it only going to be one song or like an album?
This next release is only going to be one song, but probably in the summer I'm going to release an EP, which I'm really excited to work on. Okay,
excellent, Francesca. As related to your personal life, we would love to know how is one day of yours regularly.
Whew. Well, my days are always very, very busy. Yes. So I'll go through like a school day so you can really understand my life. So I'm in 10th grade and I go to school half-time. So like most days I get out of school maybe like around 12, I would say, 12 to 1. Some days even like 11 o'clock. So I get home at like noonish. And I get all my schoolwork done, eat, and then like maybe around 1 I start practicing. First just practicing like guitar and everything that my teacher gives me. And I go through my vocal stuff, and then after I'm done practice everything like technically, then I practice my songs that I actually have to do for gigs and learn any new songs that people request because I get so many requests and I always have to fulfill those. So yeah, I go through those. And then I definitely put some time away for social media because that is obviously a big thing I have to work on. And then, what else do? I play some more guitar. And then some days I even have gigs after school. So, like, I would leave my house sometimes at, like, 4:30, things like that. And then when I'm in, like, a really creative mindset, I'll write some music, depending on the day I had. Just depends on how I feel. But that's kind of what my day looks like.
Wow, it's really cool. It's really interesting. And related to all of this performing and gigging, what is the usual process you do before you come up to stage?
Well, I used to do a lot to prepare for a gig. Now I've become a little more chill with it. But basically, for a gig day, I'm one of those people who get nervous like right before a gig, so I don't like get stressed like a few days before. It's always like right before I'm about to go on stage. So there's not like much I can do for my nerves, but before I'm about to go on stage, after I'm all like done setting up my sound and stuff like that, I go through some vocal drills and some guitar drills, and that kind of helps me like cool down. And any songs that like I'm really, really nervous about, because there's always just one song in one of my sets that always scares me so much, and I'm always so nervous to do it, so I always go through those and just practice anything the few minutes before, and then it's time to go on stage.
Wow, excellent. That's really a muscle process. And when you sing the national anthem, is this the same process or is it different?
It is much different because for national anthems, I always get like so much more nervous because most of the time it's more people and it's obviously like a really special song. So like if I mess it up, I'm going to be mad at myself for like the rest of my life. And there actually have been instances where I have like messed up the words or I took a pause in the wrong second and like I got mad at myself. But before national anthem gigs, I always make sure I do so many vocal warm-ups, even though it's only one song to sing. But I do a ton of vocal warm-ups, and every time I sing the national anthem before I go on, my heart races like really, really, really fast, and it's always kind of like, yeah. So I always like breathe really slow and make sure I'm really, really calm. And then right when I go on stage and open my mouth to sing, all of that goes away.
Okay, excellent. Yes, because I personally admire so much because you're doing all of this stuff, and I believe it is so cool. It is so amazing.
Thank you.
What would you say has been the worst and the best experience so far?
Poof, the worst. I mean, I really love what I do, so it's kind of hard to think of a few. But I'll share some like funny moments that I've had, because some of like in the moment they'll be like really really embarrassing, but then I'll laugh about them later. But one time I was at a gig and I had my guitar strap on, and so I was playing my electric guitar and I was singing my song on stage, and my guitar strap, it doesn't break, but it falls off of the guitar on one side, and this is my dad's guitar, and it wasn't a really expensive one, but it was a nice guitar. And so in that moment I got so scared. Luckily I caught it. Somehow I caught it. My spidey senses must have been tingling, but it fell and I caught it, and I just had to stop the song for a second. I was like, uh-oh guys, and everybody laughed, and in the moment I was so embarrassed and I was like, what do I do? But then I just kind of laughed it off, and then like throughout the gig I kept thinking back to that moment, and I was like, it was so funny.
Okay.
Yeah, it's they're always like those funny moments like that, but one that actually kind of really was not fun. This isn't really fun, but I mentioned this before. One day I was singing the national anthem. This was forever ago, a long time ago, and I was singing through it, and I don't even know what happens, but I maybe like choke on my breath or something, or choke on my tongue, and I just like singing like through a word, and then I just stop. And then I start again. And it was the weirdest experience of my life, and I've never experienced anything like it. But it was so weird. But it's funny to look back on, because I still don't understand what happened.
Oh, wow. Excellent, wow.
Oh, I have to share a good one now. Oh, there's so many to choose. Fun moment. The best parts. Well, being a musician, I always meet so many cool people. Like, I don't know why, but musicians just like connect on a level that like nobody else can with me. So every time I'm like at a gig, even if I'm just at a solo gig or I'm at a gig where other people are going to be performing, I always meet so many other cool musicians. Like, even if they're just sitting in the audience, they come up and they're like, hey, I play guitar too, and I really like that guitar you have. And it's always so fun just meeting so many different people.
And which instrument would you consider has been the hardest to learn to play?
Well, I really only know like two at the moment. It's guitar and like a little bit of piano. And I just started piano really recently, like maybe like a month, maybe 2 months ago. So like right now I'm gonna have to say piano, because for some reason looking at the keys, it makes my mind, like, I can't picture what the notes are. It just kind of makes me dizzy, and then it's like, oh my god, everything is the same thing. And other people say the same thing about guitar, and I totally understand, but it's just going from a guitar, having all the notes just so, like, I feel like perfectly in my fingers, and then I go to piano, place them out. It's just so hard for me to understand, but I'm starting to get used to it, but it's definitely gonna take some time.
Okay, yes, because for lots of persons, actually, it's pretty hard to learn how to play the guitar. It's hard.
I used to like say to people, I would be like, oh my god, like just any instrument they know, and I'd be like, oh my god, that is absolutely insane. How do you play an instrument like that? And then they'll say to me, they'll be like, are you kidding me? How do you play guitar? It seems like the hardest instrument in the world.
Yes.
And I'm like, it's really not. And then they're like, but my instrument really isn't. So like it kind of just depends on people's brains, and it's just really cool how different things can be for people. But guitar has just been the easiest thing for me so far.
And also, we would love to know regarding your YouTube channel, and more specifically, the song you perform, Happy Christmas, War's Over. What's the background behind that gig? Why did you decide to play that song? Is it one of your favorites?
It is one of. It's actually my favorite Christmas songs. Excuse me.
Yes.
Just when I was younger, my grandparents, I think, always used to play it during Christmas time, and we always went to this place. It was like a Christmas village type deal, and for some reason, every time I hear that song, I think of that memory with my whole family going there. And so every time it just strikes back so many cool memories, and I love the song so much. And yeah, it's just such a cool song.
Yes, because when I was digging, I was doing this research of you on the internet. I found that video, and I personally love your performance. And I actually put it to my family members, and they love it as well. They were just doing their stuff, and wow, they just turned around and said to me, "It was really cool performance."
Aw, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Tell them I said thank you. Oh, when I write my music, I always try to make it sound like music. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but I feel like nowadays people don't appreciate music as much as they used to. And people are just throwing lyrics together and not taking the time to make like a really beautiful song. And I just want people to appreciate music more, I think. So I hope people listen to my music and like, wow, music is so cool. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yes. That's excellent. That's a pretty cool message, actually. I would love to take these quickies by my son. This or that, you have to choose between A or B.
Okay, got it.
Okay. The Cranberries or Aerosmith?
Smith, for sure.
Okay, excellent choice, Francesca. Another one, Kiss versus Guns N' Roses.
Kiss. Hands down, I'm wearing a Kiss shirt right now.
Excellent choice. Another one, Kiss versus Aerosmith.
Oh, I think I would have to go with Kiss. That's kind of a hard question though, but I would say Kiss.
Okay. Another one, Evanescence or the Cranberries.
I guess I would say Evanescence because her voice is really cool.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, another one, electric guitar or acoustic guitar.
I would say electric guitar. I used to think acoustic, but now because of all the cool things I can play on electric, I would say electric.
Okay, because of the options, the variety. Okay, excellent. What makes you laugh the most?
Makes me laugh the most? Probably my friends. Like that's kind of like a random answer to say, but my friends are always very good at like making the like stupidest situations really, really funny. And every time I'm around my friends, I always like I can't catch my breath because I'm laughing so much. Can't think of a specific thing that any of them have done, but they're just always so fun to be around.
Another one, do you have a favorite place in the US inside?
Favorite place in the US that I've been to, or can it be anywhere?
It can be anywhere.
Gosh, this is really hard. I guess, okay, this place I've actually been to. Actually, yeah, okay. I'm gonna say Las Vegas for some reason, because I went there with my mom like many summers ago, and for some reason, nothing really like stuck out to me about it, but it was such a cool trip, and I always feel like Las Vegas is such a fun place to go. Like, people there are so cool, and it's just such a live place to be.
Okay, excellent choice. And do you have a favorite place outside the US?
I've actually never traveled outside of the US, so this is actually a hard answer. But I've always wanted to go to Italy. I've been begging my parents for a long time, and every single summer, they're like, oh, we're gonna go this summer. It's gonna be so much fun. And we never, ever do. So okay, very, very soon will, because I really want to go.
Do you know another words in another language besides English?
Like a little bit of Spanish. Hola.
Hola. And what's your favorite food?
My favorite food. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to say snow crab, because it just always makes me feel so summery, and summery is my favorite season. And I love crab with butter, and it's just so delicious.
Okay, excellent choice. Another one, who's your role model? Do you have a person you look up to?
I have a lot, but when I was younger, back to the Kiss story with the whole Scooby-Doo, I fell in love with them at such a young age, and I always said to myself, I want to be like these people someday. So I guess which member of Kiss I don't really know. Maybe Paul Stanley or Gene Simmons, the main two, but I've just always looked up to them and thought they were so cool and thought they make really good music that rocks. So I would have to say one of them.
And do you have a favorite song so far?
Favorite song. I'm gonna have to say, okay, this song is a little emo, but I fell in love with it, and it's by My Chemical Romance, and it's called Helena, and something I love so much, and I really want to see them live someday, but I don't even know if they're going to tour anymore. But it's just such a cool song to me.
Yes, My Chemical Romance is excellent choice.
I agree.
Excellent, Francesca. And do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I think I'm going to have to say Avatar with like the blue people, because I think the world that they live in is so beautiful and so cool.
Yes.
I don't watch a lot of stuff though, so that's like one of the only few that I've watched, because I'll start watching a movie and then I'll watch it for like 2 seconds and then I'll be like, yeah, this sucks, and then I'll just stop watching it. But if I like Avatar, I watch it.
Okay, yes, excellent choice. Also, I love Avatar as well. And do you have in a specific place you would love to perform your music?
Probably in New York City, what am I saying? Radio City Music Hall. That's what I'm thinking of. I've been so many times, and I've been in there a few times to watch some things, and I think it would be so cool being on that stage.
Okay, perfect, excellent. And if you could give a message to your past self, which message would you love to give?
When I was younger, again, I always cared about what other people thought of me, and I know everybody struggles with that. It's a really hard thing to get away from, but I so much that it would stop me from doing things I love. And now thinking about that, it like really hurts me. But in the moment, it somehow made me feel better about myself, because I knew I wasn't getting made fun of. And I just want to tell my young little self, don't care. Like, if it's making you happy, it doesn't matter if it's not making other people happy. Their lives are sad if they're making fun of you for doing something you love. But I just want to tell my younger self that.
Wow, excellent message to your younger self, Francesca. And which artist would you love to collaborate with? It can be from this time, or... I
think I'm going to have to say Aerosmith, because his voice, specifically Steven Tyler, but like if I could with the whole band, that would be really, really cool. But Steven Tyler just has such a cool voice, and I think a duet with him would be so much fun, and just the way he performs, and he seems like the coolest guy in the world.
Wow.
So it would be really cool if I could just sing a song with him or anything.
Wow, excellent choice. I personally love Aerosmith as well. And if you have the chance to travel to the past or to the future, which would you choose? Which one?
I would choose the past, because that's when all the bands that I love, that's when they all were still like on tour, still making new music. And I think it would be, people always call me an old soul, and I should be alive in like past times. So I think if I was like back a little bit, I think it would suit me better.
Okay, perfect, excellent. And do you have any other upcoming projects you would love to share with us?
Okay, so after this next song release, I'm going to release an acoustic version of my song Tragedy, because a lot of other people have been asking me to do it, because I perform it acoustically live, and people are like, oh my god, it sounds really pretty, you should just release it like that. So I'm going to release an acoustic version of that, and then in the summer, like I said, I will probably be releasing an EP. Not entirely sure yet, but it's like 80%. I think it would be a really fun project to work on. And next year, I'm going to be doing online school, so that means I'll be able to travel a lot more. Okay. So maybe I'll be taking the show on the road someday, so hopefully.
what's the most interesting place you have ever visited with your music?
Ooh, with my music. Most interesting place of music. Ooh, okay. I haven't been there yet, but I'm going there next week. So like very, very, very soon. I hope it counts. But I was selected I'm a semi-finalist in this competition, and I get to perform at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And I've never been there before, and I get to perform there, which is like even cooler than just going there, but that would be equally as cool. So I'm really, really, really excited to go, and I think it's going to be so much fun.
Okay, perfect. And we also wanted to know if you usually perform lives on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok.
The only really lives I do are like these with other people. I've gone live on Facebook once just by myself. Maybe I'll start doing that again, and I played guitar and I sang. But sometimes also when I'm at gigs, I go live. But it's not really like me talking to the camera, because being up on stage and then trying to read my phone is like really, really hard. But normally just like this type of stuff.
Wow, excellent, excellent. We were so pleased to know this. And finally, I wanted to know if you would love to learn another instrument besides the guitar and piano you're just struggling.
Ooh, I really love the instruments I play already, especially guitar. But if I had to learn another one, I would probably learn the bass. Because believe it or not, that is the first instrument I wanted to learn even before guitar.
Wow.
Because when I fell in love with Kiss, I just loved the bassist so much. And I was like, whoa, this instrument is so cool. It's so like low and it's so like mysterious. That's why I liked it so much. I actually have a bass at home for some reason. I like dabble, but I don't really play a lot. But if I had to learn another instrument like fluently, then it would probably be the bass. I'm Francesca Tarantino, everyone. I'm a singer, songwriter, and musician. I play guitar and I sing. I have a new release coming out very, very soon, next Wednesday, January 31st. It's called Truth Cannot Hide, so stay tuned for that. And love you all.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Francesca, for the opportunity and for the space. Like I always say, I always learn from each guest I have in these episodes, and I personally learned a lot from you, and personally I'm a big fan of your music.
Aw, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed this. Thank you.
Wow, have a nice day. Thank you so much again for the opportunity.
You too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.